here in Los Angeles now. Was born without any limbs and has made an incredible difference in the world. Many of you saw the Butterfly Circus. We're going to send out an email later after this with access to his website, some of his books, as well as the video, where you can see him in action and some of the things he does and how he's made a difference in your lives. And what I ask you today, as you listen to Nick, how does it relate to your life? What are the challenges you're facing now? How are you overcoming them? Where are you falling a little short? Where do you need support? Because all along the way we're facing these challenges. And I dare say to you that the best support you have in facing these challenges are the people sitting next to you. Over the course of your years at Brentwood, you're going to make some profound relationships. And they're going to be the ones that can really support you along the way. So please open your hearts, open your minds, and listen to Nick today. It will be well worth it. Nick Wood.
Good afternoon, everybody. How are you? Good. Anybody been to Australia? Yeah, it was good? Of course it was. Anybody want to go to Australia? Very good, very good. I was born and raised in Australia, and now I made Southern California my home. And they say I run so fast, I leave my legs behind as I travel 500 flights the last 4 years. And every time I get on a plane, I always sort of think of new ideas that I can do to, not sometimes just inspire people. I've spoken on a plane before, that was pretty fun. But I love freaking people out. And one day I had no thumbs to twiddle, so I actually thought of an idea to possibly get my friends to put me in the overhead compartment of the plane. Now this is back in 2005. The new law in 2006 was, in 2006, if the bulkhead the overhead is full, you shut it. And if it's empty, it's open as you board the plane. In 2005, that law was not in. So you would actually have to open it up and put your bag in. And so people coming in open it up and I go, boom! And freak them out. And see, I can do a little couple bad things here and there because no one's going to find my fingerprints and handcuff me. But I love life. I really do. In fact, the coolest prank that we pulled off was just about 8 months ago. I was speaking in front of 3,000 people, and I shared about how cool it would be to dress me up as a pilot and greet the passengers as they get on the plane. I'm not kidding, we got an email from this guy and he said, I'm a pilot of American Airlines and we can do this. And I'm like, that's awesome. So 8 months ago, from Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas to Los Angeles on a 6 a.m. Wednesday morning flight, everybody's half asleep. I am standing at the door of the plane, fully dressed up as a pilot, jacket, hat, all, badges, all. And as they're coming on the plane, they see this guy without arms length saying, "Good morning, my name is Captain Vujicic. Welcome aboard. I'm so glad that you're flying with us. I'm going to be flying. You're playing today." My palms are a little sweaty, but we'll be fine. I told them we've got some new technology and stuff, and some people freaked out. Like, kids were like, "What?" I could just see in people's eyes that they were tempted to maybe miss the flight and wait for the next one. But the funniest thing was this guy was like, "Oh, cool," and walks on. I'm close to that. Anyway, the funniest story I can tell you is, in all my years of balloon pranks, kids coming up and saying, "What happened?" and me saying cigarettes. In all the pranks that we pulled, the best thing I ever done was I was in the front seat of the car going to traffic lights. And this car comes up next to us, and this girl's looking at me. And I'm looking at her, she's looking at me, I'm looking at her, she's looking at me, and all she sees is my head. So I'm thinking, man, I'm going to take this opportunity to fully freak her out. So I get the seatbelt in my mouth, and I loosen it like this so that I can freely move. Now she's looking at me, "Why do you eat your seatbelt?" And I'm like, "Just don't worry." So I'm like loosening this belt, so now I can move. Now just imagine all you see is my head, okay? If you want to put your fingers up exactly like that, exactly, just so all you can see is my head. Are you ready? Got your TV screen through, good, ready? I just did this. And she seriously got my head in a 360 degrees there. She was seriously like... I reckon she really ran the red light. Like, seriously. Anyway, to tell you a little bit about myself, the best news I can tell you that's very recent is I just got married 10 weeks ago. Very My bride is not here with us. We flew from Texas this morning. We just landed. And I asked her to just go home and just rest up. So I'm here. She says hi to you all. And if you want to see photos of us, you've got some Facebook people, I'm sure, here. You can find me, Vujicic and stuff. But that's some really great news. And I just want to tell you a little bit about myself and just to hope to encourage you. And I hope that you understand that what you see is what you get, like fully real. Like I have no other motives. I just want you to know that I love you. And maybe you've never heard those words before, and that's why I'm a speaker. It's because one day I was in front of 300 sophomore students, and I didn't know what to say. My knees were shaking, I was really nervous. And within 3 minutes, half the girls were crying, and one girl put her hand up in the middle of the room, and she said, "I'm so sorry, can I come up there and give you a hug?" She came up and she hugged me in front of everybody. She hugged me and cried on my shoulder, and she whispered in my ear, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." No one's ever told me that they love me. No one's ever told me that I'm beautiful the way that I am. That was when I wanted to be a speaker. Now that was 10 years ago. I'm 29 years old. And just 2 days ago, here's my report from Australia. You're right. I love you. Here it is. This is my report to my Facebook. At a public high school in Austin, Texas, I spoke to 1,500 plus students, and as I was loading my wheelchair in the van, a girl comes up with tears in her eyes and says, "I've never admitted to anyone that I've tried to commit suicide, and to admit that to a stranger." She was puzzled. By that fact, she was puzzled and lets her tears fall down, and she says then, "It's just I've been thinking about suicide again more and more, but now I won't anymore. No more. Thank you." She hugs me and says she's coming to church to hear my testimony tomorrow night. Now, that's from the beginning of my career to now. And the reason why I do what I do is because I know that there is someone here who needs to be able to do this again. Ready? And it's hard to smile. Maybe you don't even know the last time you laughed. And I don't want to get all down and heavy and stuff, but I just want you to understand something here. That I'm not talking about the 43 countries I've spoken to. I'm not talking about a different region of California. I'm talking about your school right now. And I want you to know that I'm so thankful that doors have opened up for me to meet 7 presidents, speak at 5 congresses, be on TV to 270 million people, live on TV, do a double degree in accounting and financial planning, speak to orphans who are dying of AIDS, see 600 sex slaves who were bought for $300 in India, and spoke to 200 pimps. I have been, now pimps, you might think it's pimps, but these are actually people kidnap kids at 10 years old and then force them into sex slavery and put their kids under the bed while they work on top to actually pay off their debt, and after they pay off their debt, they don't think that they're worthy to step out. Now when you see with the people I've spoken to, you've seen a spectrum. We all come to the decision, are we going to dream big, are we going to keep on going, or are we going to give up? And I want, first of all, everybody to know those words again. I love you. Every single girl right here, you're beautiful the way that you are. And you boys, you're men. I mean, I don't have arms and legs, but I got a little foot right here and I can do a peace sign. Peace, how you doing? And I just want you to know that if you don't know the truth of your value and your purpose, you're going to die with a lie. And if you don't know who you are, then you're going to believe what the world tells you you are. And I want you to know that I was in that position as well. I, at an age of 8, was thinking to commit suicide. I felt like giving up. And I don't want to be just talking about something that you're like, well, I don't know if that really, applies here. Can I just ask you, do you believe me when I say I'm not going to exaggerate in the time given to me, right? I'm not going to lie, okay? And I've spoken 1,500 times, and I know what to do with the time given to me. Will you trust me for the next 60 seconds? Please? Okay. You will see why I'm asking you to do this in a second. But here it is. I want you to close your eyes right now. Close your eyes. Put your hand up. Every head bowed so I can see who actually is closing their eyes. And put your hand up nice and high. I'm only going to ask you 2 questions, and that includes every teacher as well. Put your hand in a fist if you have thought of giving up. Go. Open your hand. Put your hand in a fist if you've tried to give up. Go. Open your hand. Put your hands down and open your arms. I want you to know something. That if you have ever thought of giving up, don't ever give up. You don't know what can come from your broken pieces until you give your broken pieces a chance. And I want you to know that my life is an example that you don't know what's around the corner until you go around the corner. And I want you to know that I had no idea that I'd ever be able to type 43 words a minute on a normal computer with my left foot. And after 2 cups of coffee, 53 words a minute. I had no idea that I'd be able to do what I'm doing and meeting governors here in the United States of America. I want you to know that I love you and I believe in you. And I want you to know that when the world says you're not good enough, you got to get a second opinion. And I want you to know that unfortunately 1 million people a year around the world commit suicide every single year. That's 1 suicide every 40 seconds. And on your own row, each row is about 10. 10, 10. Every 10 of you. You look at your row. Out of 10. 1, I can at least say, for 30% of this whole audience, because I was looking this way, and I was looking a bit that way, and this way, but here it is. 1 on every row, 1 out of 10, is actually trying to commit suicide in this very school. They just told me that. Do you think everybody told me the truth? No. Do you think I think there's more? I think there's more. That's pretty sad. 3 out of your row have thought of giving up. 30% have thought about it, and a further 10% have tried. Don't give up. I want you to know something, man. It is a battle within. I love what you said, sir, about us being a community and a school that we're each other's greatest encouragers. I want you to think of right now, who are your biggest discouragers? Think of them. Ready? I want you to know something. When I was a kid, I thought of a couple people who were putting a lot of pressure on me, but I want you to know something. You are your greatest encourager. Because when someone says, you're ugly, I still have a choice to go. You can talk to the foot, because the ears ain't listening. I don't care what the people say about me. I want you to understand that I love you. I don't care how you look. I don't care how smart you are. I don't care how much money you're going to have or not have. I don't care how popular you are or not. I don't care how tall you are or not tall. I love you just the way that you are, and I'll prove it to you, man. I speak all across the world in 43 countries, and in front of elementary school students after my speech, I say, can I ask you a question? And they're like, oh, yeah. And I'm like, am I cool enough to be your friend? They're like, oh yeah. I'm like, but wait a second, are you sure? doesn't matter, does it? Are you sure? 100%. If it actually doesn't matter for how we look, then why do we kill each other without words because of how we look? I hated my life at school because of kids who thought they were cool. Am I cool enough to be your friend, but I don't tease anyone? Am I still cool enough to be your friend if I don't swear? Am I still cool enough if I don't get drunk? And I don't watch pornography with you. Am I still cool? That's how it is, guys. Seriously. Everybody's doing everything. Everybody's sleeping with everyone. Everything's cool. Now, listen up. I want you to know something. You don't have to be like anybody else. Just be you. And when you get rid of these lies, you take one step at a time, one step at a time, one step at a time. And sometimes you're going to fall. Sometimes you're going to fail. Sometimes you're going to feel alone. Now, to illustrate my point of falling down, I'm going to jump off this table, do a back flip, and land on the floor. Okay? Are you ready? You not ready? Girls, are you ready? Boys, are you ready? Sparta! Ready? 1, 2, 3. I'm joking, man. Are you serious? Oh, thank you very much. But sometimes when you fall down, like this. Ready? So what do you do when you fall down? You get back up. Okay. No, but thank you for asking. Here it is. You know it very well. You don't know what you can achieve until you. I want to talk about the biggest failure of all. Mr. Thomas Edison. Anybody know who he is? Why do you know him? Because he made the light bulb. How many times did he have to be successful before he invented the light bulb? Once. How many times did he have to fail before he actually made the light bulb? I heard it was 10,000 times. You know what he said? I never failed 9,999 times. Now I know 9,999 ways in how not to make a light bulb. If I fall down and I try to get up, if I try to get up 100 times and I fail 100 times, am I a failure? Are you sure? Then why are you calling yourself a failure? If I'm not a failure, then you're not. If Thomas Edison is not a failure, then you're not. And I want you to know that if we knew in our textbooks about Thomas Edison as the guy who tried to make this thing called a light bulb and was never successful, and we knew him as the famous guy who failed at making a light bulb, he would be seen as a failure to some, and to me, he's a champion for trying. What a champion! Can you imagine his wife? What are you doing? If it's meant to be, it's going to happen. But you never know what you can achieve until you try, and when you fail, you got it. Try again. Cool. The battle is in us. I want you to know that there is a war in our mind and in our life. Don't switch off. I know there are going to be people throughout this speech. We're going to be walking out the door. I know that they've got sports. I love you. God bless you guys. But here it is. I want you. I love seeing all of your beautiful eyes up here, and this is why. You can't miss this. I want you to know that as a kid at school, I was believing a lie. And it was taking me from all that I could be. This is my favorite book in the world, and to me, this represents all that I can be. Here I am. Encouragement takes me to my full potential. Discouragement takes me away. The common word is courage. Now, for real, if I want to jump off this table, I'm going to need courage. Correct? But I'm not going to do it. Why? Because I'll break my arm. Now let's change the scenario. Let's say no one was here in this school, and I'm here on this table. No wheelchair, by the way, this is the coolest thing in the world. That wheelchair, that seat goes all the way down. I want to get like air shock suspenders to go. Big subwoofer and stuff. Anyway, so just imagine, I got like a little BMW sticker on the back. Fine, it's the coolest thing. But for real, let's say that there's no wheelchair around, no one's here to help me out, there's a fire coming through, I'm stuck on this table. Same height, same pain. What's different? I understand the purpose of jumping. And that in itself doesn't erase fear, but it gives me courage to do it anyway. Strength. People were taking away my courage to live. Nick, you're not good enough. Nick, just give up. Nick, you're a nobody. It only takes 3 seconds for someone to point something at you. You give me anyone you want, who you think is the most confident person here. I'll still choose something negative about them if I want to. Just like anybody can do to me, anybody can do to you. What is beautiful? We're all beautiful. But I was believing that I was ugly, and I would hear it again and again and again and again. Nick, you can't even get married. Even if you got married, you can't even hold your wife's hand. That's what I was thinking. Nick, even if you had kids, you can't even hold your kids when they're crying. No money can heal that. Nick, you're alone. Are you alone? What can take away your loneliness? There are some hugs from the dearest friends who can't even heal some of your pain today. Why? Because I was thinking, no one understands. Just give up. Just give up. At age 8, I told my mom I wanted to commit suicide, and at age 10, I actually tried. I went into a bathtub of 6 inches of water, and the first 2 times I rolled over, I was trying to work out how much air I hold in my lungs before I let the air out and let the water come in. The 3rd time I rolled over, I was saved by one fall. I was fortunate enough to have loving parents who did nothing but love me and discipline me. And as I turned over the 3rd time, I saw them in my mind crying at my grave, and I realized I'm going to leave them with the pain